game like a grand final. A loss and their history. A win and
Tonight to commence round 15, and as I said, a most important game for both sides, particularly the Saints, who must win tonight, and that's something they haven't been able to do here in the West. The Eagles, on the other hand, would dearly love to continue on their winning way. When they last met, it seems a long time ago. That was when Tony Lockett was firing, and so too were the Saints. 18-19, 127 to the West Coast, 10-9, 69. But that game was played at Moorabbin. Joining me tonight, the best in the West once again, Ross Glendinning and Dennis Committee.
Sandy, good evening.
Gentlemen,
Sandy,
good evening. I'm just wondering, Ross, will the rain that we've had during the day and the showers tonight perhaps tighten up this game a little?
Well, could possibly do, Sandy. I think, but the last time they played here, the Eagles coped with it very well and restricted St Kilda to only 3 goals. So
it rained that night, didn't it?
It did, actually. It was a fairly torrential pour down to the left-hand side of the screen, so it could well happen again tonight, although it has stopped just at the moment. So, but it will tighten it up, Sandy, certainly.
What about the two lineups? Let's take a look at those, Sandy, may we?
Excellent idea.
Okay, right. Greg Doyle making his debut at full forward for the Saints tonight. Good luck to him.
And with Stewart Lowe in fine form at centre-half forward, a big task for Michael Brennan if he does line up there.
Across the centre, Turley, Malaxis, Mainwaring opposed to Rice, Coughlin, Burke, very even. Burke played so well in defence. I doubt he'll start on the wing tonight.
Yes, and Craig McGrath welcomed back by the Eagles after suspension, following on his good form in the state game for WA.
And up forward, a couple of very interesting duels. Frawley against Sumich, and Langdon, I think, will be marked by Laurie.
And a crucial duel there, I believe, Irving and Harding. Harding in good form and Irving the up-and-coming player.
And the benches, well, plenty of inexperience on both tonight.
Right, thank you, gentlemen. We shall take a break. Both sides, incidentally, are out on the ground. When we return, the action shall commence. Welcome back to the Wacker. The Eagles have won the toss and are kicking to the right of screen. For an update on the weather, we better have a look at the forward ground report and welcome Neil Poe. Neil?
Evening, Sandy. Well, I'm waiting down here expectantly. We're all dry at this stage, but the forecast tonight is for occasional showers. The temperature at the moment sitting on 14 degrees, the humidity 72%. The ground is slippery, especially in the pitch area, as you'd expect, and there's a slight northwesterly breeze of about 5 kilometres an hour, not offering any real advantage to either side. We've got a weather radar of Perth in the southwest, and those blue dots you see represent the rain.
Thank you, Neil, and let's hope that we don't see too much of that tonight. Darren Goldspink and Brian Sheehan, the men in white, in charge of proceedings. And firstly to Ross Glendinning, can the Eagles maintain this unbeaten loss record?
Well, Sandy, they've got the advantage that they have played very well at home, but under these conditions it certainly makes St Kilda's task a little easier, and they are terribly competitive. There's a bit on in the goal square at the moment.
Square.
Frawley and Sumich, a couple of other players. There's a bit of tussling before between Harding and McGrath, so...
Well, they've come from everywhere now.
Well, they did predict, the media were pumping this up as a very physical sort of game, and St Kilda are going to really test the Eagles on that score. So it's started off that way.
Oh, and a few very, very close to the fence. There's
really
a couple of ugly packs there, actually.
It's great for Australian rules, isn't it? It's a fantastic start.
Not the start we want. Not the start we want. Anyway, let's go to your selection, Dennis.
You think the fight or the footy?
We'll talk about the footy first.
Well, St Kilda, very courageous last week against Footscray. I thought they tried hard when they were undermanned, but I don't like them tonight. I think this may test them, simply because I think they'll struggle to kick enough goals.
Well, there's only one person in the square, and that's Chris Mainwaring. He's just there with putting boot to ball.
The other,
there he is.
Stuart Lowe is starting at full forward, and Phil Scott is picking him up. Paul Harding, as I mentioned, is actually starting on at centre-half forward with Phil Scott picking him up.
Okay, take two.
Interesting to see if any reports come out of that. I think all players careful not to throw too many punches. A lot of wrestling, a lot of scrapping down there, but nothing much to it.
All right, this time we'll get a start. Still some niggling in the middle with Coughlin and Lamb. But we are at last away. Daniels is met solidly. Coughlin tries to get it out and does to Russo. St Kilda down towards the half-forward line. Ugle playing from behind. Wasn't good enough. McKenna almost gave away the free kick. Devonport shoots towards goal and puts through the first one for the Saints. So a great start after that early melee. St Kilda 1 goal and the Eagles yet to score.
Yes, and Devonport certainly has been a creative player. A couple of weeks ago he kicked some goals in Waverley, nearly won the game for St Kilda, and there he is just following the football, playing the ball, and that's what they needed.
So a great start. Craig Devonport has St Kilda on the board. Thrown up in the centre this time. Wide of the pack, Harvey goes down in the Langdon tackle. Pretty muddy in there, and it's going to be a free kick to the Eagles. Holding the ball, says the umpire.
Pretty tough.
Very tough. There's Chris Lewis. I guess the umpire's keen to put their stamp on this game. Lewis down towards half forward. Harding goes back, holds his ground well and takes a courageous mark. Plays on. Kitschke up from the back pocket. Away to Russo. Played well last Saturday. And that loss to Footscray. Out wide. Harvey's in front. Turley got the first on it. Close to the boundary line. Mainwaring kicks it straight out of bounds.
So a throw in on the right half forward flank. The Eagles marginally into attack.
Everybody confused by that. Obviously came off hands there.
It's got to come back.
So do the players.
Which they have done from the throw in. Bowie at the bottom, so too Coughlin and Malaxos. Coughlin to take it and waste no time. All to ground once and through the centre he goes. Touched off the boot to half forward. Turley couldn't take it cleanly but cleverly socketed off the ground. Oh, flying tackle by Worsfold. Play on is called. It could be another one to Devonport. He gets clear. 35 metres out, shoots towards goal and has put it through.
Burke's okay.
2 goals to St Kilda and the Eagles yet to score.
Well, that's great play there by St Kilda. They're playing the football. We've got their Worsfold very lucky. Burke is okay. The free kick was, or the advantage was allowed, and Devonport taking full advantage of it. And St Kilda and coach Ken Sheldon will be very pleased with that. The Eagles got to get their eye on the ball and get the thing.
Very clumsy tackle by John Worsfold back in the middle. St Kilda lead by 12 points. Bowie couldn't control it. Still they battle. Very slippery in there, as you can see. Peeking over the ball with Daniels. We've got a whistle and the umpire electing to throw it up.
And it's very quickly Laurie and Harris on the bench for St Kilda, and for the Eagles, Miles and Begovic.
Worsfold coming over the top, got the fist away. Pekin went down. Mainwaring sliding in there. It's going to be a free kick to Bowie. Taken high by Mainwaring. Up comes Russo. He's got it. So his ball. Russo through centre. Low the target. Alexis does nicely. Lamb bidding towards half forward. Good kick too. And he finds Wilson, who plays on immediately.
Wilson from 70 metres going up towards full forward. Frawley got in front, but bounces clean to Sumich, who'll soccer off the ground. No one at home, however, for the Eagles. And the Saints through Jeffrey get the handball away. Across to Nathan Burke. And St Kilda out of trouble. Down towards Daniels on the half-back line. Winmar loose on the wing. It lopes over to him. He sneaks away. Looking up forward. Gets underneath the ball that goes high. Loewe comes from behind. Fisted clear. Ugle waiting down. Can go over the top. Does so to Turley, but the whistle has sounded. The advantage not paid to the Eagles. It will be their free kick. Irving handing it back to Scott. And again, he goes to the outer wing. This time a good mark taken by Kitschke.
Free kick coming back though. And 50 metres, Sandy.
And
yes.
50, well, a good mark, but stupid play, because this is now going to put the Eagles in close to scoring range. It takes them from the defensive centre wing area to the 50-metre line.
Craig McGrath is the player.
From just on 50, just outside. The drop punt into the square. Big pack of players, but one reigns supreme. The push is there. It is noticed. And if he's not careful, there'll be another 50. Frawley on the last line of defence. to Jeffrey, who loves to run, and he gets them out of strife again.
Sends play towards the outer side. Big pack. Worsfold got a fist on it. This is Hetty. Well done by Rice. Off the ground by Taylor out wide. Malaxis got it across to McGrath. Taylor once more around the corner nicely. Kitchke with some time from right half back towards the middle of the ground. Coughlin going back with the flight of the ball. Bowie coming to meet it. Winmar. This is Russo, almost held without it. Ball is loose alongside the centre circle. Irving. Winmar led in the race. Slid away from him. This is Lewis. Chips it out wide into open space. Langdon wants his left side. Smothered off the boot superbly by Pekin, who shepherded well too. Bowie on the burst. Long inside 50. In from the side, getting a fist on it. Irving, whose snapshot goes down towards full forward from low and bounces out of bounds in the pocket and will be thrown in.
Great persistence there by Tim Pekin. He's been a great player for St Kilda this year. Fine pickup.
The Saints by 2 goals. The only score on the board to date. Scott in front. Tackle applied by Doyle. Ugle working hard at the bottom. Oh, he comes right across the face and goes out of bounds and out of bounds on the full. So the Saints will have another chance. Russo will take it inside 50, right on the boundary line.
There's a chance from there too, Sandy. He's a very good kick of the football. Very experienced player.
Interesting though there, Ross. Line ball for Russo and Devonport. Devonport the right footer.
Well, that's the target he has. And he's drifted that right across the face again. Waiting down was Ugle. Scott gets the hand pass out. The Eagles away through Brennan, or are they? Not a confident bounce. He tried to go back to McKenna, put him under pressure, got a hurried left foot kick out wide towards the half-back flank, where it goes out of bounds.
Throw it on the outer side. Young Doyle in front. Wins it down. Burke, hurried kick. It drifts out of bounds. Lamb to take the resultant free. Not against the boundary line. Kicks towards centre wing. Off hands. And this time a throw-in. So St Kilda have started very well. They kicked the only 2 goals of the game. In fact, all the score of the game so far. Some heavy work in there. And a bounce this time. Just going back to Devonport. There's 2 goals on the board already. Man in form as a goal kicker. Russo opting to take the kick. Kitchke gets it down. This is Hart. Pulls it back across his body. Harding misjudged it slightly. Pekin having a wonderful season. And passes wide once more. It will be a throw-in. Not a huge crowd here tonight, as you'd expect. It's been a wet day throughout in Perth. Yesterday, much the same. Kitchke wins it forward. Turley has the ball going nowhere, and it will be bounced.
Still on the outer wing. And the Eagles still looking for their first score. Kitchke again in front. Oh, Coughlin ducked his head. And perhaps a little fortunate.
Yes, although these conditions, Sandy, there's going to be a lot of those decision umpires have to make quickly.
Coughlin from centre wing to half forward. Low the target again. Fisted down. Oh, cleverly done by Mainwaring down towards Langdon. But Russo again has started well. The left foot pass up towards half forward, and a good mark this time by Lowe on the chest. He'll be kicking from the 50-metre line. Well, the man with the magic hands will be tested in these conditions tonight. And let's see what he does with this kick. He's going short. Not short enough. Oh, Devonport, is he going to do it again? He has!
It's our scoreline with just over 16 minutes remaining till quarter time. Devonport kicked 5 in a loss to Geelong a few weeks back. That was round 11, so he can kick a goal. He's proving that again tonight. 3 on the board already. The only score in the match to 1 player. Rucks go at it. Irving over the top. Coughlin out wide. Mainwaring showed some courage, and again nothing doing there though. Harvey scrambles it down to half forward. Grant inside the centre square towards full forward. Lowe was in front. Timely fist came from Scott. Lowe leads in the race. Head down. Met solidly. Scott keeps it in front. Now it's Grant. In went Hart. Down over the ball was Burke. Should have got a free kick, I thought. Nothing forthcoming. Malaxis then was held without it. Mainwaring gets it away. Taken by Grant. Across his body. Coughlin down in the pocket. Well, tell me why Burke didn't get a free on the outer side.
Well, there are a couple others there as well, Dennis. So the umpires are letting those go. They've got to be consistent and let it go for the whole night, which will make it very interesting.
And very dangerous. That was a knee to the head. Unintentional. But there, Frankie Coughlin to break the Devonport run. This is to the near side, but in effect he's done that anyway. No, he hasn't. He's got it through. He snuck that one through superbly. St Kilda 4 goals. The Eagles yet to score, and the crowd is stunned.
Well, that's a fantastic kick from there. The St Kilda players in the square just to pull that through. Not the best place to kick a goal here at the Wacker, but that's Frank Coughlin's 4th for the season. A very handy one for St Kilda at the moment.
4 straight. What a start by the Saints. Back in the middle once again. In fact, the Eagles have had it down in their attacking zone only once. This may be the second time. Heady popped one too high. Will take the free kick and put the Eagles inside 50, but only as far as centre half forward.
And he's now paying 50 metres as well.
So Rice will come down to the centre. And everything going with the Saints at the moment. The Eagles a little rattled, trailing by 24 points. And Rice to send St Kilda into their attacking zone once again. Lowe couldn't take it. Who's waiting down? Oh, Coughlin's clear. No, he gets claimed, but gets it away to his master. Don't tell me he's done it again. He has.
That is now playing on Devonport. St Kilda have 5 straight on the board. So the Eagles with the job to do. What did I say before the game? The Saints will have trouble kicking goals. Here's Lamb. Out of the centre towards half forward. Inside the 50. Jeffrey storming away. Look at that for aggression. Plenty happening off the ball and still, but the kick has come out towards the half forward flank position for the Saints. Turley took the mark. Sends play back towards the wing, and Heady just forward of right centre wing. Down towards the 50. It's all St Kilda. The mark is taken by Daniels. Plays on immediately. Kicks towards centre field. Coughlin is there. Malaxis almost the mark. Falls to the ground. Lamb away to Mainwaring. That was a strong tackle that got him down. Bowie, and Bowie is going to be rewarded. What's the umpire going to do?
Free kick.
Gee, there was a sharp free kick there.
Very sharp.
Oh.
Mind you, it was a good tackle.
It was, Dennis, but he did get rid of the ball.
Bowie, the left half forward and low. Hits the ground running. Centres it. Too much carry for Grant. Here's the danger man again. Devonport snaps and kicks his 5th. This is amazing. Craig Devonport has kicked 5 goals. And St Kilda are 6 straight, and the Eagles are yet to score.
I was reading a record book the other day, and there are not many players that kick 4 or 5 goals in a quarter. And Craig Devonport has just been fantastic. As Dennis mentioned, Hart is now the player on him. Begovic is on the ground with Ugle going off. Ugle being the player that had the first 4 goals kicked on him by Devonport. Well, what can you say? The picture tells the story.
And if you've just joined us, that is correct. Devonport has booted 5. Langdon applies the tackle to try and stop St Kilda winning it out of the centre square again. Daniels works hard, gives it to Kitchke, a high one to half forward. Devonport could be under this, so too Grant. Oh, Grant taps on to Devonport, onto the left foot again, down towards full forward. Push towards the boundary line. Doyle is there, back to Devonport, but he can't keep it in play. And, well, he's got the ball on a string. 6 goals. The Saints, the Eagles yet to score. Throw in. Hart, Mainwaring. Over the top. Daniels in trouble. Worsfold rides the bump. Goes over the top. Gives it to a teammate in Mainwaring who kicks to centre wing. Kitchke works hard. Harvey now takes from Rice to half forward. Coughlin played on, ducked his head. Got the hand pass away to Daniels. Another one to Burke. Burke stabs into half forward and a good mark is taken by Lowe in front of the eye.
Gee, that's great team play by St Kilda, and particularly by Kitchke here on the wing. Trapped that ball in, beating McGrath, and they just continually got the ball on quickly. And Burke, a fine pass to the leading Stuart Lowe. A little too quick.
Are they rattled, the Eagles?
Well, they are, but Sandy, they're not picking up, and now Dwayne Lamb is picking up Devonport.
Lowe looking for the Saints' 7th. That could be the first blemish of the night. It is. It wasn't a good kick off the ball. 6-1. And the Eagles still yet to score.
Quite a few Saints fans down behind that goal at the eastern end too. As the kick-in comes from Brennan towards the outer side, Scott goes back. Burke over the top did well to fist away. Heady, the kick half blanketed. Lowe took his eye off the ball, but plenty of support. Worked back into the forward line by Burke. Over the top, Devonport. Socket off the ground by Brennan. They're very Devonport conscious at the moment, as you'd expect. The ball is out of bounds. Worsfold, friendly push for Devonport. A little belated, we'd suggest. He's got 5 on the board. Doyle's in front. Irving over the top. Comes back to Irving. Not a particularly good kick. Daniels inside the 50, down towards full forward. Loose ball. It was missed there by Scott. Taken by Lowe. Snap. It's close. It's home.
Points the margin, favouring the Saints. Harvey tries to take it out of the middle. Coughlin goes over his head, but Malaxos is there. Plays on and gives it straight to Nathan Burke. Burke kicks long, up towards full forward once again. Lowe is there. Doyle waiting down. Bowie trying to go past, just lost it. And Lamb may get the Eagles out of trouble across to McKenna.
Around the outer side they work it. Worsfold kicking towards centre wing. McGrath, who played for Western Australia last Sunday against South Australia, sold Begovic into trouble. He scrambles it forward. They're really in control, St Kilda. They lead in all directions generally in the race to the ball, and again Doyle met solidly. Burke, Devonport. The ball comes down towards the half forward line from Harvey, picked up by Lowe across his body, wide of the mark. It's gone out of bounds on the full. One of the few blemishes. Stuart Lowe obviously coming in the centre of attraction as far as the defence was concerned, but an unlikely hero has bobbed up. Craig Devonport. Scott close to the boundary, missed by Begovic, knocked away by Burke, and we've got a throw in as the rain continues to fall at the WACA ground.
And a margin of 43 points. St Kilda have done all the attacking. Winmar, Malaxos could have been caught a little high. A little bit too enthusiastic was Greg Doyle, who's come up through the under-19s and the reserves, and Malaxos to take. To centre wing, Kitchke tried to get in front. There could have been some nudging going on there.
It's going the other way, Sandy. Paul Hardy.
Yes, the Eagles fans don't like it. In fact, they've had little to like so far in this quarter. Daniels from behind. Coughlin. Oh, gee, he goes. He goes, Frankie. Puts ball to ground once, looking to go short to Grant. Perhaps a little too short. Malaxos in there. It comes out the back door. Who'll be first to it? Nathan Burke on all fours. A chance now for Lewis going past to send the Eagles deep into attack. They desperately want to score. Miles is away. The whistle has sounded. It'll come back. It'll come back.
It's come back to Sumic. Free kick for a push in the back. Miles has come on to replace Stephen Jackson.
Crowd are groaning, but I think that's better for the Eagles.
So Sumic to have a shot directly in front and kicking from just on 50 metres. "57 goals so far this season. Will this be 58 and the first score for the Eagles for the night? It is.
We're back in the middle. Irving, just under 8 minutes remaining till quarter time. Irving won the ruck knock. He's going to get a free kick.
Yes, he's taken high, Dennis.
So the Eagles looking to stretch their winning record at home to 13 straight. All sorts of trouble at the present time. Irving missed by Harding, waiting behind Winmar, who's been quiet, surprisingly. Begovic, he's got pace. Tony Begovic inside the 50, pulls it back across his body. Frawley in from the side, though. Pekin. Frawley was wrestling with Sumich. Pekin took full advantage of it. To the pocket. Burke, who's been lively, hard against the boundary line from right half back, chips it back with confidence. Mark is taken by Harding. Nonchalantly gets around the Lewis tackle. Bowie on the outer side. The Kitchke. Look at the Saints run. Impressive stuff, this. Burke long inside the attacking 50, but the mark is held by McKenna. Plays on. Brennan across the goal face. Mainwaring's in front. Hart got a bad bounce. This is Pekin. Across his body to the pocket. Oh, Brennan, big jump over low. Fisted it away. Lamb kept his head well and finds Mainwaring.
Mainwaring gets round Russo. The Eagles want a couple of quickies very badly. Craig McGrath. Trouble. Langdon. Real trouble. Bowie easily out of defence. But Irving just lopes across that half-back line and takes them. On to Turley. Around Devonport. To half-forward. Langdon in front and a good mark. Carl Langdon now. Down to the 50-metre line. Wilson plays on to Heady. Can go over the top or have a snap. He elects to have a snap, I fear, and goes out of bounds on the full of Peter Sumich, just having a word or two with him.
Just quietly.
Very quiet. The Saints out of trouble. To half-back. Daniels the target in the centre. They're very quick to move it on. This time to the right half-forward flank area. Pekin looking to carry it down. Brennan caught. Towards the boundary line it goes. Socket further forward, right down into the right forward pocket to Stewie Lowe. To the Saints' advantage. It could be a goal here if Grant can get it clear. He can. For Bowie. Can he take it? Lewis comes over the top and smashes it clear. And Turley takes it away, but only to Bowie. He may have the last laugh. Nope. Wide. Out of bounds on the full.
Fantastic commitment there by Lewis. He really had to cover some ground to give that a contest. Here's McKenna. Deep in the back pocket towards the outer side. Fine mark by Lowe. Averaging 10 marks a game. A kick from just outside the 50. Decides to go in short. Running free is Burke. Question of accuracy from here. What's he done? That's a magnificent kick. It's a goal.
Back to the half-back line after scoring a goal for the Saints. Begovic to put the Eagles into attack. Down towards Langdon. Sumich was the flyer and he almost got it. Daniels defending stoutly, gets it away. And again the Saints out of strife, but only as far as Mainwaring. It was Winmar who came over the top. Devonport couldn't take it cleanly. Kane Taylor working hard against Mainwaring. Lamb taken high and he'll be free kicked. 8 goals won to 1 straight goal, so they want goals and they want them fast. Heady at the back. Kicks his first. Well, there's still a long way to go. They're 2 straight goals. The Saints are 8-1.
Well, this will test them. Their persistence now has to come to the fore. Dwayne Lamb in that kick was looking for Heady, who was behind Taylor there. Taylor missing the mark, just slightly misreading the flight of the ball there. And Heady, a clever kick under pressure on the ground, didn't miss.
So the margin back to 37 points. 8-1 to 2 straight. Approaching quarter time. Centre square infringement. Eagles to get the free kick. Will be taken by this man, Dean Irving. St Kilda so impressive in this opening term. Irving kicks into the man on the mark, goes again off the ground out wide towards right half forward. Langdon leads in the race. Mainwaring inside the 50, going back with the flight of the ball. Ugle forward of the pack. Hart. This is Wilson, nicely done. from 40 metres out, slides it across the goal face. Frawley leads back in the race. It's out of bounds and will be thrown in. Well, it's been a low-key build-up by the Eagles this week. You've got to say that. You almost had the feeling this sort of thing could have happened. Very slow to start. Ugle to Hetty, upended. In front, Sumich, off the ground, Wilson. And it skids through for a minor score.
When you say that, Dennis, it's quite the opposite with St Kilda training 2 or 3 times a day, lunchtime, early morning, really getting the thing going. So they are here, ready to go.
Frawley brings it back into play. 6 straight goals the margin. Irving looking for the mark. It is not paid. Pushed wide. Burke has been busy. Not only in defence, but has goal. To the outer side it goes. Worsfold in front of Harvey. Lewis into help.
It's given a free kick
casual as you like. He just
knocked it over the, yes.
Well, he handballed it over the line, didn't he?
The umpire saw that. That's a free kick. It was deliberate.
Not very subtle. Kitchke stands his ground as Mainwaring tries to come over the top. Not successful. A long sweeping hand pass. Or the Saints have opened it up again for Winmar from 75 metres. He lets one go down towards Lowe. Over the top it goes. Grant was there also. But one behind is the end result. And the Saints bench, I'd imagine they'd be pretty happy. Just under 2 minutes remaining and the team's in control.
Brennan goes towards the outer side. Burke is there. Ball came behind the pack. Lewis in front, battling with Daniels, who fought a most honourable draw. No, not according to the umpire.
Free kick for holding on, Dennis. The umpire adjudicated there.
So Lewis goes in short. Lazy kick intended for Turley, knocked away by Harvey. Throw an outer side wing. Kitchke, he's done well. Opposed to McGrath. The Saints player wins it down. Begovic in deep trouble. Burke liked his game so far. Hurried kick. Close to the boundary line. It floats out of bounds on the full. Rob Wiley still in touch, takes the mark. And Lewis now will take the kick. Lewis, Wiley's proxy, kicks it across the ground. We've got a whistle. No, the ball won't come back. Whistle in the crowd as Malaxis takes his kick high towards centre half forward. Coughlin gets a fist on it, falls to Russo, away to Frawley. Long bomb towards centre half forward. Great commitment there from Lowe. Winmar hooks it down towards full forward. Back goes Brennan. With him is Doyle. Brennan looking for support, concedes a behind. That's in keeping with the first term.
Michael Malthouse a little concerned as we tick down to end this first quarter. The quarter dominated by Craig Devonport and St Kilda. But we've got a problem in the centre square. I didn't see what happened, Ross, did you?
No, a player was felled, but he's now, the umpires have to stop it. They're calling for a stretcher, but they haven't seen that yet.
And play goes on as Russo gets it down towards the forward line. Pressure on Guy McKenna. He gets a hurried right foot kick. It's high. Scott is there. Spoiled by Harvey. Waiting down Daniels. Daniels just flicks short, but too short. And on the siren, it's marked by Russo. So he will have a shot.
And Sandy just jumping in low as the man down.
Well, and the stretch has been called for, so that could be dramatic for St Kilda. That ball did travel the required distance and Russo will have a shot. Lowe is on his feet. Keep an eye on him, Ross, as we have a look at this. That's sailing straight through the centre to end an outstanding quarter of football by St Kilda. And that's quarter time. The Saints have this commanding lead, 9-3, 57. A stunned West Coast Eagles, 2-1-13. At the Wecker, and the scoreboard is quite correct. The Saints 9-3, 57. The West Coast Eagles 2-1-13. Today coming up on drama unfolding here, and it'll be very interesting to have heard Mick Malthouse at quarter time, Ross Glendinning.
Yes, I'm surprised we didn't hear him up in the box. He would have been screaming, I'm sure, and that's the way the game started, with that merely involving nearly all the players on the ground in the West Coast forward line. St Kilda showed they were keen to get going. They certainly did that, and Craig Devonport, 5 goals in a quarter, and the way he kicked them, they weren't all easy goals, as we see here on replay here. Stuart Lowe running into John Worsfold. Well, that's interesting. I'm not sure, just caught a little low perhaps, but That's about all.
Right, quickly, let's go down to the boundary line. Neil Poe. Neil, any news?
Yes, thanks, Andy. Well, in a word from Mick Malthouse, disgraceful, chastised his team like I don't think he ever has for not manning up, for waiting the ball to bounce to them. He asked his players to wear their opponents this quarter. Ken Sheldon, well, he is happy as he can be. Lowe has just got some bruising on his knee and he's okay.
Thank you, Neil. We're still in the centre. Kitchke thumps it out. Malaxos racing towards it, but under great pressure. So too McKenna. Trying to storm through was Harvey. And we'll have another ball up. Mickey Malthouse describing as disgraceful, not too harsh, Ross.
Oh, it could have been more severe than that, I think.
Without taking credit away from St Kilda.
Oh, not at all.
Back in towards the middle once again. Kane Taylor gets the hand pass away to Russo. This time the left foot down towards the half-forward line. Doyle gets a bad bounce. Having his first game, the youngster. Harvey works it well. Winmar inside 50 on the left foot, goes over the top. Howard bounce. Goal, I fear. Goal it is. So the Saints continue on from where they left off in the first term. They are 10-3, 63, 50-point leaders over the Eagles, 2-1-13.
And in the area where the Saints are renowned for their plays amongst the packs and getting the ball out in congested areas, and here we have Nicky Winmar, who has been quiet, had a long shot at goal towards the end of that first quarter. Stuart Lowe could have attempted to mark there, realised the ball was going through and let it go through accordingly.
So the Saints continue to play relentless football. Most imposing stuff in the early going here at the WACA ground. They keep it going their way again. Grant on all fours. Daniels is in there. Lewis missed it. Kitchke had a go at it. Harvey. This is Harding, forward of centre wing. On the move again, the Saints. Doyle in front. Could have almost got the free kick. Camped over the ball. In goes Hart. Is he holding it? Not according to the umpire. And the bench have reason to be well satisfied with what's gone before. Ken Sheldon down on the bench, it seems, using the phone there. Unusual to see a coach at ground level. Rucks go at it. Irving only as far as Harvey. Bowie strongly tackled. Down goes Hart. And it's going to be a free kick to the Eagle. The umpire breaking up the congestion. Hart. Away to Worsfold. Brennan. Still the Saints come at them. Worsfold on the burst now from centre wing down towards half forward, taken by McGrath. Malaxis across his body, high, about 40 metres out from goal. Frawley got first touch. Ugle. Here's Langdon. Snaps at goal. It's very high. He misses to the left-hand side. Plenty of time for the Eagles, of course. That goes without saying. I suppose if you're going to be 8 goals behind, this is about the best time. But even so, the balance of play, St Kilda won't be caught tonight. Jeffrey, members side. Harding's up in front. Almost the mark. He got it at the second attempt. Rice away to Coughlin. Again, irrepressible stuff. Burke out wide. With the run is Winmar. Around Lamb. Does brilliantly to keep it in. Kicks down towards the 50. And the mark is held by Scott. The boundary umpire wants it. Well called.
Winmar just unable to keep it in play. So on the right half-forward flank for the Saints. From the throw-in, Winmar will have another go. Looking for Daniels. With him is Malaxos. Harvey is there also scouting. Daniels wants someone else. He was looking for Coughlin. Towards the boundary line it goes. Hart may keep it in play with some clever soccer tactics. That's a couple. There's another one. But only as far as Daniels. Throws it onto his boot. Floats it down to the half-forward line. Or almost claimed. But he gets his kick down towards Langdon. Came from Irving. A chance now for Mainwaring to mount something. Sumich over the top. No free kick. Jeffrey at the back. With him is Ugle. Jeffrey's kick. A free kick. Off the ball.
Holding on on, Sandy.
And so the Saints again get a little bit of breathing space. Daniels at half-back, called to play on. Kicks in towards the centre. Worsfold looking for Langdon. It sits for him. He's on the 50-metre line. Pumps it long. It's a fine kick from Carl Langdon. That may lift the Eagles.
Back in the middle. 43 points the margin. Kitchke wins it down. McKenna got a boot on it. Russo. Still it's Russo. Back to Kitchke. Pushed off the kick. Gained about 10 metres. Turley in deep trouble. Mainwaring has been very aggressive. Taken too high and he'll get the free. Easily the pick of the Eagles. Away to Hart. Inside the centre square. Hoisted through centre towards half forward. Wilson was in front. Lamb has got the run of it now. Devonport, the goal kicker, extraordinaire in the first term. Got it to Rice. Weaves a little magic. Coughlin, a strong mark. Not paid. They battle after it.
Gee, under those conditions, you would have paid that mark.
Worsfold comes out with it, and we've got a bounce on centre wing. Coughlin winning the duel against quality opposition there in the middle. He's beating Malaxis. Mind you, he's got more support. Begovic, that's ambitious. Hand pass, gained about 20 metres. Langdon slipped over. Heady an opportunity. Slides in like a base runner going to third. This is Lewis. Missed Heady. Ball is loose. Begovic tried to go over the top of Harding. Temper's getting frayed in there as well. Heady tried to give it to Lewis. Eventually it comes to Pekin. Little chip pass to Russo, to Winmar, who goes through the middle yet again. High kick out towards left half forward. Low. Bounces off his chest. Scott jumped over him. Slaps it out wide towards the boundary. It's hard against that boundary line. Russo and Mainwaring. It spills across and will be thrown in.
An anxious Ken Sheldon. And St Kilda officials on the bench. Grant Laurie on his left as we're looking. McGrath to half forward. The Eagles doing it in fits and starts. Gold very, very hard to come by. Taylor, short. Lewis may intercept. Oh, twists and turns. Eventually is forced to handball over the top, but it may be effective. The kick is short in towards Sumic. He gets a bad bounce. Frawley works hard. It's pushed towards the line. Langdon comes in to assist. Pekin on his hammer. Langdon a clever tap forward. Sumic in towards full forward. The bounce. A favourable one for the Saints. Nathan Burke. Harding. Across half-back. And the Saints out of strife towards centre wing. Brett Bowie takes it. Wants to get on. Wants to get round David Hart. To half forward. Low. A slap forward. A clever slap too for Daniels. Back to Low again. Pulls it back nicely in towards full forward. But a fine spoil. Great play by McKenna as he gets the hand pass away. Takes it again in the 1-2. Goes out wide looking for Begovic, but he's under pressure from Burke. Still works hard. And Begovic gets the reward. Takes it through the centre. The Eagles fans starting to find some voice. Down towards full forward. Hugels at the back. Jeffrey there also. Socket off the ground. Oh, fair soccer. One behind. Craig McGrath. 3-3. Plays 10-3.
So 42 points the difference. Jeffrey wasting no time. Not a good kick in. Directly to McGrath. Just outside the 50, he squares it, and Wilson, haven't seen a lot of him so far tonight.
He wasn't particularly ready for that either, Dennis.
Too far out, I'd suggest. Goes long down towards the pocket. Sumic got hands to it, couldn't hang on. Harvey tried to crawl his way through there like a minefield. It was raked in by Sumic, and it will be bounced. St Kilda dominating this game, 10-3 to 3-3. Best form we've seen from any club opposed to the Eagles at home, certainly, as the ball's jarred out of bounds and will be thrown in alongside the behind post.
The Eagles' work rate really has lifted, but what they're doing in their effort to improve their rating is just rushing the ball on their skill level. They're just fumbling a little, so they've just got to settle a bit more.
Kitchke wins it forward. About 10 metres out from the Eagles' attacking goal. Jeffrey was in trouble. Heady went nowhere. Rice did brilliantly. Coughlin couldn't control it. Harvey falls on top of it, and once more the ruckman will do some work. Well, at least now one senses the Eagles are matching it in desire. something they didn't do in the first term. Dominated by Craig Devonport, who kicked 5 goals. In the grasp, Langdon got the kick off. Burke, he's cool. Frawley slides it out of bounds, and it will be thrown in. Danny Frawley, been around a while. Best and fairest back in 1988, made his debut in 1984. Nathan Burke is the player that's caught my eye last week in a losing cause, and tonight setting things up from the back. And now it's going to be a Saints free at the boundary throw-in.
Shepherding by the Eagles players to kick Kitchke out of it.
Kicks to centre wing. Scott in front, couldn't take it off the boot of Harvey, but straight to Malaxos. Back to half forward, but kicked blindly, must have been touched off the boot. Play on was called, and the Eagles fans don't like it, but the ball is held. Troy Ugle hands it over, and we'll see a ball up.
I think Tim bluffed his way through that.
On the Eagles' 50-metre line, and they want goals and want them badly. Langdon kicks it high towards full forward. Frawley, an effective spoil, but is it effective? Straight down to Wilson, off to Mainwaring. Mainwaring's got to tumble it forward, back, shepherd it through. A touch, and one behind. 3-4. Plays the Saints 10-3. The Eagles outscoring St Kilda so far in this quarter, but really they're doing it only in behinds. After the Saints blistering at 9 goals in the first term. Russo, one of the senior men down at Moorabbin, former Hawk. And he's one of the most exciting. Stuart Lowe looking for Coughlin, could have set him up a little. He courageously stands his ground as the galloping herd comes down on him. This is high towards Langdon. He's got to do the same thing, and he does. Sumic and Frawley are down in the square. They run back to join them now. It's kicked up towards that region. Harding in front. Heady, a snap. Heady, a goal.
Back, Kitchke wins it down. Got a long way to come. Coughlin out of the middle. Kicking towards half forward, and Lamb and Devonport. Lamb away to support. That's Hart. Does nicely. He's got plenty of toe. Swings it out wide. And now Worsfold leads in the race. Carries the ball down towards left half forward, then pulls it back, looking for Sumic. Frawley in close attendance. Falls behind. Taken by Taylor. Away towards half back. And Winmar coming up the ground. Presenting himself. Takes the mark. Little chip pass over the top to Daniels, who's run on. The defensive side of left centre wing, a centering kick. Coughlin goes back. Lewis over the top. Free ball behind. Worsfold measures the hand pass. Hart deftly. Begovic can go again. This is Turley. Down towards left half forward. Langdon. Now he can run inside 50. It's a question of accuracy. He sparked the comeback, and he's kicked a goal. So the Eagles are 5-4, St Kilda 10-3, and Carl Langdon, that man, kicks his second goal, and he's the central figure in life on the forward line.
So they were in trouble because Coughlin was free, but Lewis attacked him to get a hands-on ball, but put him under pressure. The loose man was set up, and there's the player who's been under enormous pressure over the last few weeks because of his form. He's been a contributor on the scoreboard, but not many other places has he done that well. But a fine goal and a very telling one.
So the Eagles coming back, 5-4 to 10-3. Out of the centre once again. Pushed wide. Langdon will be first to it. But he's beautifully claimed by Pekin. The ball spills free. Coughlin under pressure. Oh, Daniels cocked one high from Lewis, and he will take the free kick.
Didn't Langdon hold the ball before? I would have thought so.
Plays on quickly to Dean Rice. To half forward. The Saints need to steady. Hart takes it away, however. Across to Malaxos. Just gets his kick in time. Down towards Ugle. Slip. It's spilled free. Burke. Cool in a crisis, Nathan Burke. Off to Jeffrey. And he gets clear. No, Wilson nabs him. And a fine tackle too, but Daniels gives him backup support. Across to Winmar. He has a sniff of the goals, but elects to go short. down towards half forward, and a fine tumbling mark taken by Grant.
Gee, great pressure there by Peter Wilson. He really persisted, just unlucky not to get to Winmar in that last effort. But a good kick by that player, Winmar.
So David Grant looking for the Saints 11th, but only their second so far in this quarter. Well, it's a high kick, and it's drifting away to the right, but it is a very solid mark to those huge hands of Stuart Lowe.
It's like a man, Melton. He just stood his ground. He didn't really jump. Irving and Scott unable to spoil that attempted mark.
Well, his marking average is 9.9, almost 10 marks a week, and he seems pretty happy with that. And that's the reason.
9, Stuart Lowe has 2 goals, and you get the feeling that was a very important one. The Eagles' balloon deflated, at least momentarily. This is Worsfold in trouble, goes back after his own misguided hand pass. Grant goes in, colliding with him Turley, and we've got a whistle. Down towards the Saints half-forward line. 11-3 to 5-4. St Kilda lead. A 9-goal first term, 5 of them off the boot of Craig Devonport. This is Lewis. Heady. Away to Mainwaring. Mainwaring runs to centre. Penetrating kick towards half-forward. Langdon leads back in the race. Sumich coming in the other direction. Langdon totally committed. Fell to the ground. Crawley working down there in defence, gets it to Harding, who draws a player and pops it over to Pekin. Pekin swings it out wide. Winmar, better judgment. Will it stay in for him? No, it won't. Lamb coming the other way, met him solidly. Boundary throw in. Just the attacking side of right centre wing for the Eagles. Irving. Coughlin, clean possession. Irving to get the free kick. That was a pretty soft one. The big fellow was movable.
Irving's kick to half forward, but Harding, well, in front of Troy Ugle, and just calmly took it on his chest. Again, going to the outer wing. Big pack of players, Low heading them, but unable to take the mark. Winmar in from the side.
It's interesting to watch Nicky Winmar and his immediate marksman John Worsfold. They're good mates, teammates from South Fremantle. Worsfold liking the opportunity to play on Winmar, just perhaps worrying about Winmar too much and not the ball.
35 points the margin, favouring the Saints. Worsfold gets it away to Hart. Time ticking down. The Eagles want a couple very rapidly, but this time Jeffrey is in the rain, in the back pocket. To the half-back line he goes, and taken over the line.
Miles and Jackson on the bench for the Eagles.
Kitchke to Winmar. Under pressure. Mainwaring over the top. Worsfold there with him. And the same procedure to take place once again.
Boundary throw in. McGrath in front. Wins it to Taylor. Away to Winmar. Winmar, the defensive side of half-back towards centre wing. Awkward half volley for Irving, who kept it in front. Socket away by Daniels. Sliding in there Lamb. The umpire decides to bounce it. So the umpire's having a bit to do tonight, as you'd expect in these conditions. Just misting rain, if anything, at the present time, but nothing to speak of. Bowie smothered off the boot. Begovic keeps it going the Eagles' way. Lewis goes off the ground. And there's going to be a free kick. Harding was pushed as he fisted that one forward. Not much in that, but
very little in that.
Paul Harding's got the free.
Probably a bit of frustration from Craig McGrath, who's moved around very well and made himself available. Players not seeing him in space.
Former East Fremantle star, a stint at Hawthorn. High kick to centre wing. Kitchke, almost the strong mark. That ball is pretty slippery. Turley running away from his own goal. Did nicely. Hart alongside the centre circle. Searching for Sumich. In front is Ugle. And he's taken the mark. The crowd 150. But Ugle will take this kick just inside the 50. And the Eagles, you get the feeling, working their way back into this game. They're not done yet. Troy Ugle. Of course, a very partisan crowd willing them on. Kick looks good. It's a goal.
Goals in this match, and 13 of those have been produced at the scoreboard end here at the Wacker. But the Eagles starting to come back. That, however, goes straight to Harding, who pumps the Saints down towards their half-forward line. Grant couldn't take it. Hart looked for the free kick. It did not come his way. We'll see another ball up. Doyle doing the work for St Kilda, the youngster. But again, no one else able to break free, so another ball up. 29 points the margin, favouring St Kilda. Turley over the top, wide of the boundary line, Wilson. And another throw in. Well, we have had a few showers here today, so it pays to be rugged up. Just over 5 minutes remaining. Daniels just pulls it round his body, and Russo is there to take the mark. Has a look down in the forward line. The lead is on. Well fisted away by Brennan. Bowie waiting down. He's at the 50-metre line. Towards Devonport. Was there holding on? Yes. Yes. It will come back. An Eagles free kick.
The umpire appeared a little slow to give that away, but it was definitely there, that free kick. Lamb's done well on Devonport this quarter, although the opportunities haven't been there as much as they were in the first for Devonport. Still a good job. Yeah, definite free kick here.
Lamb. Well, not a good kick. Worsfold gets a bad bounce. Daniels through. Gets Whitmar going past. Nicky Whitmar stabs in towards goal, but he pulls it left. And Damien Kitschke holds his hands up and says, what about me? 11-4.
Most unlike Whitmar to miss that one. Kick in. Came from Lewis. This is Burke. Begovic now in trouble. Great tackle again by Burke. That's been the cornerstone of his game. Bowie's holding the ball. You can't throw it away. What? He's playing the free kick to Bowie. Well,
yeah, sorry, Dennis, go on.
I was just going to say that's a culpably wrong decision.
Yes, umpire Cullen there, caught by Bowie. He was very quick to get that away, but almost Kevin Bartlett style. It's not allowed these days.
That's right.
We all know.
That's a free kick from another era. A dinosaur at right half forward.
That's me.
Now and again, umpires forget, I think. Unless he punched it to himself, but the hand must have been quicker than the eye, at least mine, if that were the case. And the ball's out of bounds now and will be thrown in. 11-4 to 6-4. There's Doyle, opposed by Irving. Two youngsters, both of them a fair size. Whitmar, the flyer over the top. Devonport, a half chance. On his knees, Brennan got it out. He's defended stoutly. In trouble is Lewis. Flicks it across to accommodate Turley, who wishes he hadn't. They scramble after it on the boundary. Pekin gained about 5 metres with a deflected kick. And now it's Worsfold. Measures the pass. Malaxis runs it up to halfback. Steve Malaxis kicks through centre wing. Wilson keeps it going the Eagles' way. Well played, but he's lacking support. Russo hurried back. Taylor got it across to Daniels, smothered superbly off the boot by Malaxis. McGrath goes in and has been awarded the free. Advantages paid. Heady goes long down towards full forward. It could bounce through, no touched. Danny Frawley got his fingertips to that one, stretching every sinew.
Yes, and well done Peter Wilson. He had no one else to help him in that situation, as you called it. Then a great smother. I think it was by actually Heady, Dennis.
Rice brings it back into play. Lowe takes the mark. Stuart Lowe at half back. Grant drifts in towards the centre. That'll be the target. Couldn't take it cleanly. Robert Harvey does the roving work and just elects to go short to Daniels, who'll sweep wide to Burke. Gets a hurried kick, but under pressure and out of bounds on the full. Good work by McKenna to put him under that pressure. So David Hart from half back towards Langdon. Turley. A chance here if it sits for Worsfold. Winmar's chasing. Worsfold's away from 55 metres. He lets one go. It looks pretty good. One behind. 6-6. Plays 11-4 and they're coming back. 28 points the margin. Lowe, again the target, but unable to take it. Down towards the pocket. Sumich gets a shocking bounce. In fact, everyone does. Rice goes over the top to Coughlin. Oh, under pressure. Does he hit for the boundary line? The umpire said no. Throw it in. So throw it in they shall.
Just over a minute remaining till half-time. Lowe, only as far as Heady, who's in trouble. Harvey could have got a free there. Rice battling after it. The ball will be bounced. Turley was with him. Bounce in the pocket. The Eagles, if they can get a goal here, would make it pretty interesting. And send a few doubts through the Saints. Pekin, the clearing kick. Bowie an attempt to mark. Hart went back looking to find it. It bounces out of bounds. And we've got a throw in. Doyle's off the ground.
Bernie Harris on. Very late change.
Yes, good 30-second burst player. Pekin, in goes Lewis, and there's going to be a ball up. It just shows how coaches really do get into the game, doesn't it? Although on occasions, those players do bob up and get the odd kick.
He's running out of time.
Pressure right on Bernie. There's the bounce. Lowe slaps it wide. Lewis. Pekin applied a strong tackle. We've got a bounce again, so it's as good as half-time. And the Eagles have come back strongly. This game not over yet. 11-4 to 6-6. Half-time at the WACA ground then. All St Kilda in the first term, but the West Coast Eagles working their way back into it. That time, kicking 4 goals to 2 in the second term. And the star in that first quarter, Craig Devonport, with 5 goals. 11-4 to 6-6 at the half. And there's a guy that's done a lot to get the Eagles back into it. Carl Langdon, I thought.
Yes, he was a player who had had pressure on him, as I mentioned, after he kicked his second goal for that quarter, a telling goal. He's worked very hard. He is a diligent worker, but doesn't always run to position and use his brains as he should, but has been the catalyst, certainly, getting that forward line functioning, and has redeemed himself very well.
So just repeating the half-time score as Craig Devonport leaves the ground with 5 goals to his name. The Saints lead St Kilda 11-4-70, but the West Coast Eagles coming back 6-6-42. Half-time here at the WACA, and had the Eagles kicked a little more directly and straighter in that second term, they could have been even closer. But the Saints lead 11-4-70, the West Coast Eagles 6-6-42. Well, we're now well into the month of July, but there was certainly plenty happening in the world of football on and off the ground in the month of June. And here are the plays of the month of June.
There's only one thing better than dancing up a storm at Carrara or eating a meat pie on a cold winter's day, and that's watching the plays of the month, where you see only the best. But the best in this case wasn't quite good enough. Pity the poor ground staff who tried valiantly to chase down this tearaway terrier. I wonder if he was trying to hit the post. June was a month of milestones, with Tiger David Cloak notching up his 300th game, even if he had to struggle to get through the banner. For some it was just too much. Oh, don't worry dear, football can get quite emotional at times. To the goal that got away, and Tiger David Honeybun managed to put boot to ball, but the goal umpire signalled that it was touched off the boot. Wrong, and much to the dismay of David Honeybun. While Robert Domenico tackled ex-teammate Terry Wallace in a rather friendly way. Gives new meaning to the phrase ripper dipper. However, the best tackle occurred off the field when a groundsman brought a would-be goal umpire's career to a very abrupt end. And then there was the story of the goal umpire who was continually bombarded by a group of peanut-throwing Blues supporters. Hey, but look out, fellas, here comes the boys in blue, and they're out to cashew. Oh, golly, who wrote this? June was a month for high flyers, and again, St Kilda's Nicky Winmar thrilled us with this beauty. While during the WA Victoria State of Origin clash, Gary Ablett managed to pull down this screamer. And why not finish it off with a handstand? Beautiful, Gary. And no prizes for guessing who was the happiest man in Victoria after the Big V's win.
Stuck it right up them. That's what you did. You stuck it right up them.
If it's promising footballers the West Australians need, then perhaps the Sandgropers could look in their own backyard for recruits. Footscray pair Chris Grant and Tony Liberatore looked a tad embarrassed as they tried to untangle themselves. Maybe they were just practising for the end of the season three-legged race. Sydney's Bernard Toohey and Essendon's Paul Salmon provided one of the best bumps of June with a big fish coming off a little worse for wear. Anyone seen my legs? While in the commentary box, there was no one happier than former Carlton champ Ian Robertson when the Blues made their comeback charge against Geelong.
The left foot shot by Stephen Silvani.
Woohoo! And on the subject of commentators, here's Dennis Cometti beating the fans away with a stick. Oh, only joking, Dennis, but we couldn't leave you out of the plays of the month of June, could we?
I was only joking.
Right of reply, please. My friends have just gone for a coffee. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
How do you give it to me?
Let's talk about this game, can we?
Well, let's, Roscoe. The Saints dominating in the first term.
Yes, but I think the Eagles. Well, you're quite
You're
right.
still
there,
getting
Sandy,
over that shot, aren't you?
Dennis is. Oh, let him come back later. West Coast certainly in that second quarter really lifted their ratings. We mentioned I thought they were just trying a little too hard though. They were fumbling, but they did man up a lot better. The running players from St Kilda were checked, and players like Devonport were restricted by Lamb, even though the opportunities certainly weren't there. If you look on the video there's a good goal by Winmar. And Lowe's worked very hard, Dennis.
Yes, he has. Interesting situation, this, Ross, really. When a team is trying to work their way back into a game, you can't do it in one grab coming from 8 or 9 goals behind. It's got to be done in stages, and the first thing you've got to do is stop the charge of the other crowd. Now, you get the feeling that the Eagles may have done that successfully, so that's step one, and there's still a chance in this, no question about that, despite the great attitude that St Kilda showed at the start.
Yes, there's an unwritten law, Dennis, really, that once a team gets a run on, whether it be 2 or 3 goals, let alone 9 in the first quarter St Kilda got, you just man up and you sacrifice your own game, get control of your own player, and then start attacking again. The Eagles tried to do that in the second quarter. Better. That man has been a little bit of a problem, but they're holding him okay. Midfield is where they must pick up.
Coughlin's done very well in the centre, although Malaxis came back at him, and Burke has been outstanding in defence for the Saints. Those numbers tell the story. The advantage with St Kilda, a few more kicks, a few more hand passes. Marks, well, they've got some big players around the ground, and they've done well there. Free kicks favouring the Eagles. Tackles, well, St Kilda have certainly set the tempo in that regard. Hit-outs, well, Dean Irving has been a good player for the Eagles so far.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. We're going to take a break. There's every possibility.
Yes, thanks, Sandy. Well, I guess a common theme from both coaches at half-time, and that is that the game is still very much there to be won. Mick Malthouse was, of course, a lot happier with that quarter, but he asked his players to perhaps be a little bit more careful when handballing. He thought that because with the ball so slippery that they were giving it away a bit too often. The players were very encouraging of each other at half-time, and they want those first couple of goals and to go on with it. Ken Sheldon, a little disappointed that they lapsed a bit in that second quarter, if you like, let the Eagles back into the game, give them a chance. He wants them to lift their work rate this quarter to where it was in the first quarter. The medical staff were probably the busiest people in the St Kilda change rooms at half-time. Danny Frawley was a bit woozy from a knock in the first quarter, and Nathan Burke got some stitches from a nice little incision on his head.
Right, thank you, Neil. Complete report there, including the medical report. Carl Langdon, success with a couple of goals, and it may be an opportune time just to have a look at another big sporting event coming your way on 7, and that is on August the... Okay, just about set for the second half, and with the Eagles in the second quarter cutting the margin to 28 points, Ross. They are back in the ball game.
Yes, they are, and they're far more determined, and now this is a very important time of the game, the third quarter. They must assert their authority here if they have any chance to get back and win this game. The rain's held off quite well. Could get some more. It's fairly dark.
Indeed it is. Okay, into the second half.
socket off the ground, or attempted to by Irving. Malaxos through but without it. Langdon pushes forward. Winmar spoons it out to Taylor. Throws it out. And noticed. And Nicky just explaining what he did. But not to be. David Hart to send the Eagles into attack. If they get the first one here, it's certainly going to make it interesting. Jeffrey plays on now. Grant is forced to do the shepherding work, and he does it well. Jeffrey's kick back towards the centre. Coughlin can't get there first. Irving pushes wide. Begovic is there, working hard. Has to give a little ground. Across to Lewis. He goes over the top. Down towards the half-forward line. The kick from Turley comes. Well, Rice and Daniels asking the question on heading.
Gee, there's pretty red hot considering some of the other ones they've let go.
His kick towards Lowe. Lewis again reads it well. Comes out wide towards the boundary line. The Eagles leading in the race. Mainwaring keeps it in play and makes some 15 metres. Now, did that come off the boot of Mainwaring again? No. So a throw in on centre wing. No addition to the score. Hart does well to get it to Mainwaring. Goes inside to Malaxos. Now Lewis. Oh, he can steady here. Stab in towards the pocket. Sumic the target. Frawley at the back. Langdon going with him. And over the boundary line.
Perhaps just a little Sumic conscious there with Lewis being a good kick. Could have gone to the square where Ugle was waiting.
There's the throw in. Kitchke in front. McGrath reaching over the top. Wilson trying to keep it in. Almost did. Not happy, but another boundary throw in. The Eagles starting well to this third term. McGrath and Kitchke. The latter wins it down. Lewis, good tackle by Bowie. Hedy's got it now. Over his shoulder. Sumic led to the ball. Jeffrey's got it. Out against the goal line. Sends play back towards the Saints half back line. Well played there by Daniels, and again to the run of Burke. Coughlin has been a star. Coughlin on centre wing. Did beautifully. Winmar. Still he goes, Nicky Winmar. Charged down though by Lamb. Coughlin on the assist. Backing up, was taken high, and he'll get the free. Well, Coughlin involved in the middle stages of that build-up, continuing to run hard. This is Daniels inside the centre square. Long kick down towards the kick-off line. And the young fellow making his debut. Doyle works his way to the front and takes the mark almost uncontested.
He did that well. He's found it very hard to get away from Michael Brennan as Doyle, but did that very well. Very tall fellow. Very well put together.
Greg Doyle kicking at what will be a very handy goal if he gets it. The first attack successful for the Saints.
6-6. And Greg Doyle, a very happy young man, scoring his first in senior ranks. Russell pushes out wide. Hart, the tackler. Irving tries to soccer off the ground. So too is Bowie. On to Winmar, who's still going through half forward. Can he get a part? Well, he's got Davenport. He may as well goal. That's all he did in the first quarter. Down towards full forward it comes. Lowe leading in the race. Needs help. Doesn't get it. The Eagles out of strife to half back. Harvey, eyes only for the ball. Now Daniels does it well. Kitchke goes to Jeffrey. Back towards the 50-metre line. Bowie in front. Turley over the top. Langdon claimed, but he gets it out wide for Mainwaring. Can't pick up the slippery ball. And eventually over the line. Grant Laurie on the bench with Harris. From the throw-in, Jeffrey over the top of Langdon. Hart almost threw it out. Kane Taylor intercept, but he's beautifully tackled. Malaxos nicely to Mainwaring. Down towards Ugle. Oh, one-hander!
there. Unlucky not to.
No doubting the kick.
And Pekin, no chance there. Not watching the ball, just trying to bustle Ugle, who kept his eye on the ball. Good strength.
So Troy Ugle going for a second. Has he snuck it in? I think he has. Yes. Well, that's what the Eagles want. Troy Ugle second, one in the second term, and they move to 7-6, trailing the Saints 12-4.
And a very timely reply there to the Doyle, and if it's on behind play, as Grant came out to remonstrate with Ugle. Was it Grant or was Kane Taylor? There's a bit of a jostle on there. Really unnecessary. The Eagles have to really keep their mind on the football here.
The umpire is wasting no time. He tosses it up. Lamb got a hand pass in the direction of support until it'll come back though to Lamb, I fancy. The advantage not paid there. So Dwayne Lamb, who's been a fine player since the formation of these Eagles, to take the kick alongside the centre circle. Swings it out wide towards left half forward. In front, McGrath came at that ball aggressively. Good strong mark in these conditions. Long kick. Sumich on the lead this time. Clears the pack. St Kilda had 3 up. Not good tactics. Langdon assesses it pretty well. It's swinging back. It's hit the post. All the time in the world, Carl Langdon missed by the narrowest possible margin. That would have been a handy goal. Rice. Still plenty of pressure in this game. Pekin up in front. Lane Waring has played well tonight. Right against the boundary line. Goes for goal and misses to the right-hand side. May have been better advised to pull it back to the middle.
Yes, definitely there, Dennis. With Sumich could have let out from that square. Would have been more advantageous without doubt.
7-8 to 12-4. Rice quickly this time to the other side. Daniel. Jason Daniels to the half-back line. Jeffrey. Long and low. And if Troy Ugle can do it with one hand, and so too can Stuart Lowe. His hands are perhaps a little bigger. Sends the Saints to half forward, or pressure on Coughlin, who was giving away inches, but help from Harvey. Lewis in late with the bump. To Bowie in the pocket on his hammer hard. And over the line. Eagles fans, almost 20,000 fans in fact here tonight for this game. Critical one for both sides. Begovic tackled high.
And 50, Sandy. Devonport came in across the mark there to try and smother the ball as Begovic took a step forward. Can't do that. Ball taken upfield.
That's going to bring them now down, well, over the centre. And he's going to be kicking down to the Sumich region inside 50. Also down there, Langdon lurking. And Ugle. Oh, Troy Ugle got up a mile. Couldn't take it. McGrath's kick straight up in the air. When they do get up, they get up. Nathan Burke rides the bump beautifully. Play to Harvey.
Harvey on the outer side seems to be okay after a heavy knock. This is Bowie. Harvey was met by Lewis. Bowie plays on across the ground. Burke, a running defender, goes off the ground this time. Brennan, who's done well, kept his head, sends play back with a long kick towards the half-forward line. Wilson, almost the mark, not paid. Taken high was Carl Langdon. No free kick. The umpire decides to ball it up. The gentleman had a strong opinion one way or the other. Rucks go at it. Kitschke gets it down. Daniels towards half forward. This is Hart. Almost stumbled. Bowie got him from behind, but Lewis able to tidy up. Kicks it out wide. Missed by McGrath. A collective groan goes through the hometown crowd as the ball skids out of bounds. Throw in, outer side wing. Just forward, in fact, of left centre wing for the Eagles. There's the time remaining. McGrath got it to the back of the pack. Daniels tackled. McGrath pulled off the kick. Down goes Langdon. Harvey scrambles a kick forward down towards right half forward for the Saints, where Irving leads in the race.
He's at half back. It's still at half back after the smother. But good work will see them out of stride. Scott towards centre wing. But once again, halting proceedings, Nathan Burke. To half forward. Scott from behind with an effective fist. Russo's kick smothered. Heady trying to go through, and the ball was thrown out to the umpire.
It's stiff, Sandy. I mean, Heady made a courageous effort to get the ball, then trying to get rid of it, trying to handball through the ball forward unintentionally, and was penalised.
We just saw Grant Laurie warming up on the sidelines, about to come on, so the Saints have a change in it. Looks as though Kitchke will be going off. And Stewart low from the 50-metre line. Well, the distance may test him. Floats it high. It's going to be touch and go. Into the square it goes and over the back. And taken over the line by Michael Brennan. The one behind, 12-5, plays 7-8. And just under 14 and a half minutes remaining in this vital third term.
Grant Laurie's come straight on and picked up his former teammate from Fitzroy, Craig McGrath. Bit of jostling.
Tough quarter this one, a goal apiece. Doyle got the opener. Ugle got the reply. Coughlin very high to fist it out of bounds. We've got to throw it. A brief respite. Enjoyable game tonight. The Saints starting superbly. Irving. This is Harding. Pumps it back in. That is a long kick. It may well go through for a goal. How does it bounce? Bounces away from goal. Winmar swoops. Winmar back across his body. Charged down by Scott. Winmar dragged off it, crashing his way through Brennan. Now Begovic, who's been a handy player, out of the back pocket to Heady, who can take this and run. He's away from right half back. Kicks through centre wing. Langdon and Jeffrey. Jeffrey a timely fist. Rice in trouble. Jeffrey did superbly. Knocked it to the advantage of Harvey. Harvey on centre wing. Goes looking for Lowe. Irving behind. Has support all around him. Lamb shovels it across to Scott. Awkward looking kick back to centre wing. Wilson favoured by the bounce. Peter Wilson, right centre wing. Heady outside him. Didn't break stride. Goes down inside 50 and Sumich. Vacant goal square. Sumich has to hang on to it as the Saints lead back in all directions to the kickoff line. But Sumich thinks he can go close from here. He'll kick from about 58 metres out. It'll take a very good kick. Tries for the spiral. Miscues completely. Harding bounces off his chest. Malaxis. Bowie. Oh, well done.
The smallest men on the ground, but he gets away. Puts it out in front of Harvey and Turley on the outer side. And they see it over the boundary line.
Not very well read there by the Eagles forwards as Sumich went for that torpedo punt. Doesn't kick them very well very often. Should have realised it would have fallen short.
Goals hard to come by in this term. One apiece so far. Out in front of the Chris Mayne wearing stand. Got his own cheer squad out there by the looks of it. Roscoe?
Yes, I think he's family down here.
Lamb. High but very wide. And out of bounds on the full. So Grant Laurie get a kick after coming off the bench. He may well be denied it.
Yeah, it looks as though they want Nathan Burke to take the kick. Yes.
He's going to take it. So not to be for Grant Laurie. Craig Devonport is the main goal scorer. He had a blistering quarter here tonight, booting 5 in the first term. And that's when the Saints opened up their margin. But the Eagles have come back since then. Wilson down to the half-forward line. Ugle, some holding on going on there. And the Saints just tightening up a little. Daniels on the outer side. To half-forward. Turley over the top to spoil Harvey. Lewis Klein. The Saints have it just forward of the centre. Harding late. Jackson winning it. Coughlin couldn't take it. Begovic Sweeps the hand pass wide, but straight to Winmar. Low at the back. Thought about going on with it to Brett Bowie. Now goes back. He's well outside 50. Can't make the distance possibly, but he'll go short. Harvey stands his ground with courage. The pack came hurtling towards him.
Perhaps a little fortunate with that kick too, Sandy. I think he was looking for Greg Doyle. We see Doyle, the player, along with Mainwaring, that ended up near Harvey, but a courageous mark. Very fine player is this lad. Only his second season. I saw him last year break his leg at Essendon, which was most unfortunate. He's come back very strongly.
Shooting for his first goal tonight, and one here would make the task of the Eagles just that much more difficult. From 40 metres, Lewis pays him close attention. He's going to struggle to make the distance, and in fact won't. McKenna on the last line of defence. Ball to ground once. Sets up the hand pass, but could have been very dangerous, may well still be. McKenna going in trying to make amends. Harvey asked the question. The question is answered. What do you think, Ross?
Well, the Eagles players trying to finesse out the back line. You kick from there, you don't handball, even though you are trying to create a loose play, as Guy McKenna was trying to do, drawing the St Kilda player toward him. A kick of the football towards the wing would have been far better.
Harvey a little further out on a much tighter angle. Going short. Low!
It's a fine grab. I mean, the ball doesn't get through his hands terribly often, and we're probably talking about it too much, but it's worth talking about because he's a fine mark. Good judgment there, but strong fingers, strong thumbs behind the ball. Perfect example there of how to grasp it. 11 marks so far in this contest in the third quarter and 15 kicks and 2 goals. Fine play.
This one in the first, one in the second. Will the pattern of consistency continue? Pretty tight angle. It'll be tough for Stuart Lowe. Well, he gets underneath it and he just props it in towards goal. Devonport's kick is smothered off the boot and over the line. No, not initially. Oh, some heavy work going on behind play. Now it's over the line. I was watching
John Worsfold take it. Yes, he won't let up.
I think it may have been Russo.
Quite right.
Wilson over the top. Turley. Mainwaring. To centre wing. Over the top comes Laurie. Straight down to Jackson. Pumps a torpedo towards Troy Ugle. Wanted to flick it on. Couldn't do so. Doesn't matter. He's got McGrath. McGrath pulling it in towards full forward. Frawley and Sumich and Jeffrey towards the line. Defends well.
Bad luck for McGrath there. He was trying to pull it back to Lewis. He was breaking up the middle. Just went a little too far. You get the feeling at the moment St Kilda imposing their will on this game. Very important move forward by the Eagles. Wilson tried to juggle it, couldn't control it. Pekin got it to Coughlin. Coughlin from half back towards the outer side did not look, and the mark is taken by Hart. Plays on immediately around Bowie. He generally uses the ball well. Goes looking for Sumich. He couldn't hang on. Taylor, almost the meat in the sandwich. Still he goes. Wrestle to the ground. That would have hurt Taylor. He was taken down by Wilson. Meantime, St Kilda working around the outer side. Low in the grasp. Got the hand pass away. Bowie, the stakes are high and they're playing accordingly. Winmar takes the mark about 60 metres out from goal. Taylor is still in the hands of the trainers, and that was a very nasty one because there were players lying across his legs and he was bent back. Now that's not Taylor. That's an Eagle.
Michael Brennan perhaps.
Taylor has got to his feet. Doesn't look too well. Meantime, Winmar unloads with a spiral. Jackson in trouble. Could have been pushed in the back. Harvey went off the ground. Didn't score. Worsfold comes away. Finds Lewis at right half back. Chips the ball into open space. Mainwaring's got the run of it now. He can go a long way. He'll have a second bounce. And a third. They're clearing the zone up ahead for him. He can run to 50, Mainwaring. Centering kick. Bugle is the target down there, but in front a strong mark is taken by Jeffrey.
He's taken some good marks. It's actually Carl Langdon. He looks very, very sick there.
Jeffrey from full-back. Wilson dropping back quickly to get front spot under the pack. Malaxos down to Lewis. Lewis does it nicely from 50 metres, but he pulls that ball wildly to the left. Bugle takes the mark, but after it had gone through for a behind.
Jeff Miles is the player who's come on to replace Carl Langdon.
51 plays 77. 26 points. They can get another one before three-quarter time. We'll have a game on our hands in the final term. And it could be here from Turley. Craig Turley, has he done it? Well, the field umpire is going to ask the goal umpire. The goal umpire just puts his hands behind his back and said, yes, he has done it. But look at that kick. Golly.
Jeffrey's done it too.
And Wilson could do it. This to make the margin 20 points. He's had a relatively quiet evening.
He has. He works very hard, but he doesn't read the play as well as he should for a player who does work so hard.
Can cover himself in glory here if he can goal, but he drifts it across the face and one behind him.
Certainly that's almost a sin committed by Russell Jeffrey there that Austin McCrabb did last week, where Malcolm Blight chastised him quite severely, going against the grain of play without clearing long to a pattern. We're lucky not to get penalised more severely there.
So another behind on the board to the Eagles when they want goals. Oh, Begovic strong in front. He wants to go on with it. He charges the ball down to full forward. Plenty of flyers. 31-1. And that man is delighted because McGrath has drifted across and taken a big mark.
Watch this. Read it beautifully. A bit of a lift on Troy Ugle there, who won't mind at all. Craig McGrath, the diligent worker that he is, will be very pleased with that, as any player would be.
McGrath, 10 metres out, directly in front. He goes, and the Eagles will not lie down.
Well, it is 19 points. The Eagles are creeping back at the Saints, whose season is very much on the line tonight. Harding wins it down. Malaxis goes to ground, wanted the free, and will get it. Malaxis, who's come back strongly at Coghlan. Kicking towards half forward. It's a pretty heavy ball now. McGrath, third man in line, couldn't hang on. Jackson from outside the 50 goes down towards full forward. Frawley gets back, takes the mark, plays on immediately. He's in the back pocket. He goes out wide and skids it. The value of experience got it out of bounds. It will be thrown in. Let's get a Neil now for a report on Carl Langdon.
Very nasty knock to the face, bleeding from the nose, mouth and above the eye, and I wouldn't be surprised if he hasn't got a broken nose.
So he could be back. In goes Jackson over the ball. Rice, a half chance across his body, gained about 15 metres. Wilson camped underneath it, missed it in mid-air, goes back after it on the ground. Devonport was taken high and will get the free kick. Devonport started the game in a blaze of glory. He kicked 5 goals in the opening term. Doesn't happen very often, especially against the Eagles at home. Taylor, long kick to half forward. Brennan from behind trying to spoil, but such is the ability of this man in the air, Stuart Lowe. He held the mark. Lowe, been outstanding tonight. Kicks well inside the 50. Forward of the pack, a chance for Doyle. Bowie, that was ambitious to try and go through there. Down goes Doyle. Mainwaring's got it. Over Winmar to the run of Worsfold towards centre wing. Great use of the ball. This is Heady, the defensive side of right centre wing. Kicking to open space. Jackson. It was an awkward one. It drifted back on him, cramped him for room. He had to break stride. Had he not, he could have taken that mark and run on down the ground. Jackson, a little indecisive. Chip pass, Turley.
Still too far out to score. Turley going short again. Not a good kick. And off the boot of Sumich on the fall. It's bounced back to Frawley, and he scoots away. Pulling it back to centre wing, but Jackson's in front.
Well, they need that responsible role from Stephen Jackson. He's been lucky to retain his place in the side. With Irving going off, he now has the role in the ruck.
Well, he's played on here. Not at all sure what to do. stabs into the forward line once again. Grant Laurie, a timely mark in defence. Wants to come to the outer side for Lowe. The St Kilda defence standing up at the moment. The Eagles throwing everything at them in these last few minutes of this third quarter. Mainwaring won't get a free kick. Winmar will. Well, and they are not happy.
It's a bit lucky that he did go to ground, but then Craig Turley coming in, seizing the opportunity to give him a hip and shoulder, actually fell over the top and the back of Nicky Winmar, who I said was already toward the ground. So a little unlucky considering these conditions. Umpires normally let those situations play on.
Well, it really all started with some terrible manning of the mark by Stephen Jackson. Just let Lowe run off.
Very lazy.
Oh. Winmar from 50. In fact, a little more than 50. Short, poor kick, Lewis.
It's irresponsible, really, from a player of his calibre.
He goes short, but Turley, there's some poor kicking going on. Turley, pressure on McKenna, and he goes quickly over the top to Mainwaring, then does the good shepherding work to get him clear. The half forward, Heady backing. Drops down in front. Hart will storm through. Pump it up high. Critical time for the Eagles. Sumich in front. Bowie. Cool as a cucumber. Down to Coughlin. Can't break the tackle of Miles. Out in front of Harding. He leaves it. And Kane Taylor takes it through the centre. Lewis a late bump on him. Gets it down to Lowe at half forward. The siren has sounded. Well, Stewie Lowe will have a shot, no doubt. But he is going to be kicking from 65 metres. And a big ask.
He'll need his best kick, Sandy. Perhaps a torpedo. I haven't seen him kick a torpedo, but on his form, a drop punt at his best perhaps would mug. He's trying the torpedo. Good to see.
Well, where will this go? Let's have a look. To the boos of the crowd. Sorry, Stewie. Three-quarter time here at the Wacker. And I think we're set up for a big final term because St Kilda leads 12-5, 77. The West Coast Eagles 8-10, 58. I'm here at the Wacker. And Ross, what style, what conditions, and how do the conditions affect the style of play on a night like this?
Well, Sandy, it was always important that if we just signify each position, half forward, centre half forward, then the centre line players, if they are the forwards and the centre line players, you must not play from behind in these conditions as the Eagles did in that first quarter if they are the ex-players, because as the ball comes forward, it goes through the back all the time, through to the advantage of your opposition. So you must be in front all the time, not behind as they were as the crosses, and we're putting themselves at the disadvantage.
Briefly, let's go down to Neil Pope. Neil?
Thanks, Sandy. Well, I guess neither coach was overly happy with that quarter. Mick Malthouse less so, because his side is still 19 points down. He says the endeavour's there, but they've got to get the results on the board, and he wants them to be the first to the ball. Ken Sheldon said this is a final for them, and they have to lift their endeavour.
Here we go, into the final term. Can the Saints hold on? Can the Eagles get up? It's the Saints through Harvey, but always claimed and well tackled too. Hart steams away with the ball across half-back, floats it high to the wing. Laurie working from behind, in fact, crashed into his own man in Jeffrey there. This is Begovic. Can he get through? He can. To half forward. If the Eagles get the first goal, that will throw the cat amongst the pigeons. Oh, no, I thought he may pay the mark, and I think a few Eagles fans did too, Ross.
Yes, but I think Tim Pekin had first purchase on it. That's why the umpire decided it was a jump ball.
At half forward. Harding went over the top but without the ball. socket off the ground, but past Coughlin. Lewis a chance. Can't take it. Mainwaring battling. Pressure on McGrath, but he gets a kick down to half forward, only as far as Jeffries. Gives it to Frawley. He too is under pressure. Little too high for Hart. At the bottom of the pack, Coughlin. Out wide towards Bowie. Gets his chance. Gives it to Kane Taylor, who's hammered to the ground by Lewis late. This is Devonport. 5 goals in the first quarter. And this is Bernie Harris onto the ground for the Saints. He kicks it long. He's looking for Lowe. Lowe's at the back. 2 grabs. Can't take it. Snaps over his shoulder. No mark taken. And eventually rushed through for 1 behind. Or have we got a free kick? Could be a free. No, 1 behind. So a point goes on the board for the Saints. There's 6-12-6. Plays 8-10.
That mark not paid to Lowe, as it wasn't paid at the other end to Sumich.
Brennan kicks in. Members side, Russo, aided by a good shepherd there from Harding towards half forward. Bowie, Harris, stripped of the ball. He goes again, the former Brisbane Bear. Just outside the 50, strongly tackled. Begovic was the man who got him, and the ball goes out of bounds and will be thrown in. Danny Begovic, interesting story. He's been playing reserves football in the local competition.
His last 2 games he has, so it's a big rise for him.
Russo missed it. Gets it again. Cross his body. Strong mark taken by McKenna. So the good ruck work of Doyle, all for naught. McKenna finds Malaxis. And certainly the Eagles need the first couple of goals. Then we'll have a storming finish to this game. Ugle. Strong tackle by Laurie. Great use of the body by Burke. The hand pass not so good. Laurie battling out there though. Bought some time for Harvey. Away to Pekin. Down towards the half forward line. There's that man again. Lowe hits the ground running. Centering kick intended for Coughlin. Stood his ground courageously. Down went Harris. Ball spews out. Devonport an opportunity. He's got 5. He's got toe as well. The hand pass charged down superbly by Worsfold. The game reaching new heights as Worsfold kicks it back to centre wing. And speaking of heights, the man up was Jeffrey. Away he goes. Back to half forward. Knocked away by Winmar. Worsfold, though, measures the hand pass. Sold Hart into trouble. And the ball goes out of bounds. So a lot of effort there. A little return for players of both sides. Carl Langdon preparing to come back onto the ground.
20 points the margin in St Kilda's favour. Russo centering it. Lowe's the man he wanted. Couldn't find him. The Eagles out of stride. Turley on the end of the Worsfold hand pass. Craig Turley runs the outer half-back flank, finds Jeff Miles. Out in front of Jeffrey. Miles floating it high to half forward. Difficult one to grab. What have they got behind? Laurie could have almost been free kick and will be. Held. They're not impressed. And he was held. Harding. Did he hit straight for the line? Oh, gee.
Well, he did really, but he's given the benefit of the doubt there. Miles off, Langdon back on.
Harding and McGrath. Laurie again. Can't take it. Mainwaring from just outside 50, but wide. Out of bounds on the foot. And a bit of cramp, perhaps. Mainwaring. Doing a lot of running tonight. 20 points. The Saints won. And a loss for the Saints tonight. Just about in their run for the 5. A win tonight keeps them alive and dents the double chance for the West Coast Eagles. But there's still plenty of time. Down towards Frawley and Sumich. He pushed him out.
Danny Frawley, sorry Sandy, Danny Frawley prefers to bustle, and he knows in this situation that with Sumich in front he's going to be a little too tall for him. But that's the most obvious things I see.
Subtle as a stepmother's kiss?
Oh gosh, yes, it's like a sack of potatoes.
So Peter Sumich, who's been well held up to date by Danny Frawley as Mainwaring has a spell. An important kick, has one. I think he's got his second. And we have got a ball game.
Throwing himself after that ball. Brennan, nicely done. Good evasion, gets the kick towards half forward. Ugle is down there with him, Pekin. Spills to Lewis. Lewis from 35 metres out has kicked another one. It's on at the WACA ground now. 5 goals since half-time. The Eagles have kicked 4 of them. And suddenly, like a rowing crew, they've upped the rating. The goals have been coming at too great a distance as far as the Eagles were concerned, but 2 back-to-back, and suddenly this game is alight. It's been a slugfest all night. Chris Lewis, his first goal.
8 points the margin. 70 plays 78. Plenty of time. Centre bounce. Won by the Eagles. Langdon slips at the critical stage. Devonport can't pick it up cleanly. Malaxos working hard. Could have almost got the free. And will. Things starting to roll the way of the Eagle. Steve Malaxos down to half forward. Loose checking. Hedy's on his own. Oh, kicks a shocker. But the mark has been taken.
Well, he got front position, Sandy, and he was a little unlucky there. Carl Langdon, the player I was thinking of, as Heady kicked indiscriminately forward. He could have popped it over to Langdon, but here, I thought Danny Frawley got first touch, but doesn't matter, you're in front, there's chance.
Sumich going for number 3, this to make the margin 2 points. Tight angle. He kicks this, will bring the house down. And he has brought the house down. What a transformation. 2 points the margin. 11-10 plays 12-6.
A more critical goal Peter Sumich could not have kicked for his 60th for the season, but here in front always helps. Frawley, I think the first touch, maybe not. A bit hard to see from here, but a very good kick, as I said, his preferred side of any ground.
Well, the joint is jumping now. The grandstand is shaking as we're back in the middle. Coughlin straight across. It only went 5 metres to the side. Begovic inside 50. Sumich almost the mark. It spills to Langdon. Langdon from 45. Ugle on the kick-off line. Whoa, that's got to be 50. That should take him right to the line, I'd suggest. No. The umpire decides where he marked it is where he'll kick it from. But this kick will be for the lead. Kane Taylor, a couple of strides too late. I would have thought, not that it matters too much. Well, it may, depending on this kick. This for the Eagles to take the lead. What a remarkable comeback. This could well be the making of this football team tonight. Ugle steers it through, and the Eagles are in front.
12 goals, 10-82 the Eagles. Great comeback here. 12-6, 78. Eagles by 4 points here. Troy Ugle, his 3rd goal. You see this here, out of the centre well by the Eagles there. Langdon very quickly, possibly a shot at goal, giving the benefit there. Just knew that Ugle was there. Fine kick, very quick. Found Ugle and finished off as Miles goes off once more. Mainwaring to come back on.
And if you left the television thinking this game was in St Kilda's keeping, I would imagine now you are bolt upright. Back in front of it. 4 points. Centre bounce. Eagles fans have really come to life, and so has their team, but Begovic is caught going the wrong way, tries to get the handball away. Daniels in late. Coughlin working hard. Free kick to the Saints. Tackle too high. Harris goes on with it. The Saints want a mark, and they've got it.
Could possibly be about his 14th or 15th mark. Fantastic effort considering he's played mainly full forward. Good thing about Stuart Lowe in these conditions, a lot of players go to mark with flat hands at the ball. 14 marks, 21 kicks. I mean, that's just a manful effort from Stuart Lowe. Players had their hands flat. He keeps his hands as you normally would for dry conditions. He's so confident, is Stuart Lowe.
This to give the lead back to the Saints. 15 metres out. He should not miss, but strange things happen in this game. He has not missed.
The Eagles have done the hard work. They've drawn level. They put their nose in front. Now, can they go on with it? Gutsy goal by the Saints against the tide. Irving down to Harvey. Ricochets towards Turley, who was tackled before he had the ball. Craig Turley, who's worked hard tonight through the good times and the bad, alongside the centre circle. Kicks inside 50. Laurie.
Craig McGrath. Sorry, Dennis. Craig McGrath having a go. He led the other way. They just kicked indiscriminately.
Under pressure, St Kilda. Taylor did well to Pekin, who breaks away from half-back, kicks to half-forward. Big pack into the air, still plenty of time. Hart. Malaxis in trouble. In went Daniels, and players need to remember now, no use trying to win it off their own boot. Just do the team things. Ample time for either side to win and win well. The way things stand at the moment, it suggests it's going to be tight. 2 points the difference. Turley away to Heady, forward at centre wing. He kicks down towards the half-forward line, and the mark is taken by McGrath. Liked his game again tonight. Plays on quickly. Ugle's the target. Taylor a little indecisive. Crawley gets back, lacking support. Goes for the boundary line. He won't find it, or will he? Well, that was almost to perfection. Not quite. Down went Russo. In goes Pekin. And Pekin takes it out of bounds. And it's going to be a free kick to Pekin for a trip. The crowd thinking it's for deliberate. Roars turn to jeers.
Tim Pekin from the back pocket, relieving the intense pressure on the St Kilda defence. This is Irving. The Eagles trail, but only by 2 points, after the Saints kicked the first 7 goals of this game. And the defence standing strong. Taylor, short to Daniels. Still plenty of time for either side. To centre wing, Lowe's the target. A late spoil on Begovic, and Begovic is not going to be paid.
This umpire Goldspink has confounded me there, I can tell you.
So a throw in on centre wing. Confounded the members in front of us too. Lamb floats it high towards half forward. Ugle, can he get clear? Langdon's there with him, holding the ball.
Gee.
Oh! Is that a Maitland, is it?
Well, who would know? They're different umpires, Sandy, but...
Gee.
Oh, goodness me.
I think that umpire thought it was a mark over here.
Well, this to give the Eagles the lead. Troy Ugle from 50 metres. Away to the right. And the margin is cut by a behind. So it is now 1 point, 12-11 to the Saints 13-6.
Grant Laurie, acquired in the draft last November from Box Hill. A long way from there. Down the middle he goes with a kick. Irving, a defiant fist out wide. Lamb leads in the race. Takes it out of bounds. It will be thrown in midway through this final term. Both these sides playing for plenty. Kitschke and Langdon has come back on and wins this ruck knock. Daniels met by Begovic. It goes out of bounds. Begovic can hold his head high. He's been a good player tonight. 12-11 to 13-6. Bear in mind the margin was 44 points. Quarter time the Saints' way. Their football in the opening quarter was spectacular. It was irresistible. The football of the Eagles since has been dour, uncompromising, but they've clawed their way back. Ruled on by this very partisan crowd. The Saints with a chance to end the run at 12 and do what more accomplished sides have been unable to do, and down the Eagles at home.
There's a bit of legs here, a bit of fitness, a bit of intestinal fortitude will tell. The side that wants to win more, contest the issues harder, will win.
Peter Russo barking the instructions. There's the bounce. Kitschke only as far as Hart. Hart hooks it across his body. Lewis surely interfered with Burke, and Burke must get the free kick. And that was unrestrained play really by Lewis. He was up far too early. And that's what we were talking about, trying to win the ball the game off your own boot. Burke, who's been a splendid player, around the members' wing, and there's going to be a free kick to Scott.
Yes, Stuart Lowe giving a nudge. To half forward. Oh, Ugle this time went up high and left his man in Kane Taylor. He's got to give a little ground to Jeffrey. He may lose it. Ugle may do the mate good. He's well claimed. Tries to give it to Lewis. Lewis has caught. A handball over the top to Langdon, but he threw it.
Unlucky there.
Ooh. Nathan Burke, laterally. The Saints have possession, and time continues to tick away. They hold their lead, but it's only a point. Turley has been asked to play on. To half forward. Langdon down in front. Can he get clear? He can't break the tackle effectively. Mainwaring gets the hand pass away. It's do or die stuff now. In towards full forward. Kitchke at the back. Ugle looking for the free kick. He propped over the ball. Begovic behind. Scores are level. And still a lot of time left. Laurie to the outer side as the Eagle chant goes up low. What a marking machine he is. To Pekin. Short to the half-back line. McKenna doing it from behind. Scott gets it away. Pulled back nicely in towards half forward. Oh, the mark dropped, and it could be a costly one too because it's given St Kilda possession, and Harvey will get them out of trouble. His hand pass goes into the centre. Harris is taken out of it in the mud. Socket off the ground. But straight through two Eagles, and Nathan Burke is able to take advantage. To half forward, Harris scouting. Was he pushed in the back? He tended to prop over the ball a little. Grant, a hurried kick down towards half forward, but only as far as Lamb.
Grant's had a pretty quiet night. Lamb comes out wide. The mark is taken by Mainwaring. Up from left half back. Mainwaring going for distance through centre. Big pack into the air. The fist came from Laurie. Lewis met the ball well. Tracks it out towards the boundary line. Chris Lewis, can he control it? He's outnumbered. Little toe poke intended for Hart. Hart works his way in front of Daniels. Keeps it alive. And eventually goes out of bounds.
Well, that was happening. Peter Russo went off. Older legs getting tired, and Devonport back on.
They were 19 points behind at three-quarter time. Since quarter time, St Kilda have kicked just 4 goals. It's out of bounds. No. Lewis. It was out of bounds. Jeffrey flying over the top and fisting it towards the boundary line, but it's too early for those sort of heroics. One down by Kitchke. Forced forward by Hart. Standing his ground superbly. Langdon to Hart. It comes back to him. He gets it to where he wanted it to go initially. Malaxis out wide. Ugle and/or Miles. They need to talk, and they do. And Ugle's taken this one.
I thought Malaxis might have been in trouble with Hart having to go back for a second handball attempt. The first one being smothered, but it was a very clever kick, giving Ugle a chance to run quickly to space, getting away from Kane Taylor. And as you said, good talking between he and Miles.
And credit the discipline of Miles there. He honoured the voice immediately because he was almost sold into that marking contest. Here's Ugle. The Eagles lead by a goal.
4 points at quarter time. They now lead by 6. On the centre, holding the ball against St Kilda. Wilson to take it in the middle. The Eagles into attack again. Down to half forward. Langdon. Through his arms it goes. He's quick to apply the tackle. The ball spills free. Kitchke almost threw it out to Frawley. He heads wide towards the boundary line. Malaxis, Begovic, Daniels. And over the line. Well, what a thrilling finish. And what a comeback. On centre wing, and still time for St Kilda. Malaxos couldn't take it cleanly. Wilson, a hurried kick, but it finds David Hart. Into
Into the centre, Lewis won't get there in the mud, but there's no one within 10 metres. Peakin's the closest. A short step pass finds Mainwaring. Chris Mainwaring, long, in towards full forward. Hugo! Throwing them on.
Yes, undisciplined from Kane Taylor, though. He really had a very weak effort to try and spoil. Ugel's not that much taller. He could be line ball on their height. But if we see this, Ugle got himself in front. Taylor holding with the left hand to Ugel's jumper, trying to spoil with the right. Very ordinary effort at a crucial time. And Ugle going for his 5th goal, which isn't bad from 6 kicks.
25 metres out. Any score is an effective score, but that's a goal. 6:84, still over 5 minutes remaining.
And there's still time, but Troy Ugle, well done. He found it difficult early, as we mentioned, on Devonport, went off, came back on, now on the forward line, and 5 goals. He's made up the difference that Devonport had on him in that first quarter with his own 5 goals. Scores a level between those two players, perhaps.
Well, it's been a textbook comeback by the West Coast Eagles. They stopped the run initially, as we said at half-time, the first thing they had to do, and then worked their way back into it step by step. St Kilda not done with yet. Doyle knocked it out to Ketchke. Grant the hurried kick towards half forward. Well played. Coughlin's got it now. Spears the pass into Lowe.
It's ironical too, Dennis, as that all happened. Kane Taylor taken off the ground, as happened to Ugle in the first quarter. Peter RUSSO back on.
So Lowe directly in front will kick from about 35. Harris did well to get that ball out. And the rest was history. Lowe's kicked 3. What an important kick this is. He's put it right through the middle. The Saints are coming back.
10 minutes remaining. The Saints want the next goal if they're going to be in this game. The Eagles leading by 6 points. Miles uses the body. Play on, no mark paid. Burke, claimed by Ugle. Spills out the back. Jeffrey, but being pursued by Ugle. He's working desperately hard. He gives it to Langdon. Langdon's claimed that he should lose it, and he does. Peakin at half back.
Resistance by the Saints backs.
To centre wing. Who's waiting down in front? Russo throws it out the back door literally, but finds Harvey. And that's effective. Daniels, Begovic gets in front. Fists it clear. Irving takes it. Now a chance for Mainwaring. Long and low. Miles. At the back, Subic. Needs someone going past. Oh, and he's got it in Miles. He centres it to Ugle. Well. He's going to play on. He's in trouble. He shoots. Now he goes.
Talk about making it hard.
Oh, dear.
Great stuff by Miles to keep his head.
Yeah, wasn't it? He almost looked as if he was going to do a check side shot at goal. But had the vision to see Ugle there, who's in a spot of bother, but 6 goals to that player.
5 in the second half, Ross.
Yes, look, that's a great comeback. Great maturity from him. At times can be undisciplined, but I mean, he has almost been the difference.
What a quarter. What a quarter.
4 goals in that quarter.
Well, given the courage of the Saints, the way they started, the way they've come back since, one sense is they'll give it everything now. Their season on the line. Coughlin swings it out wide. Malaxis, Devonport, who started with 5 goals in the opening term, could be holding the ball. Not forthcoming. Russo brought Malaxis down, and the umpire goes across to ball it up. The Eagles, though, have kicked 13 goals since quarter time. Their rivals have kicked 6. Russo, high kick down to the 50. Almost the mark to Brennan. Recovers best, breaks away. Kicks play through centre. Valiant attempt by Peakin. Ball to no avail. This is Wilson. Down towards the pocket, Ugle. Well, Ugle is finishing as Devonport started. At the same end, he's kicked 5 goals in the second half, 4 of them in this last quarter. I'd venture to say that hasn't happened too often, with a player of one side kicking 5 goals in an opening term, and an opponent getting 5 in the last quarter.
prime example of how you should never hang your head, Dennis, and take every opportunity as it comes, every quarter. Just keep at it.
And the irony is Devonport started on the man who's kicking at his 5th goal. He missed. Miles. Very high. It's going to be a free kick to the Saints down there.
Yes,
but time is the enemy now, Ross.
Yes, without doubt. That free kick for a push to Kitchke in that pack. Nathan Burke in a spot of bother. He's been in the wars tonight.
Tried his heart out though, hasn't he?
Always does.
Played
so
well.
is that man, Brendan Bowie.
Kitchke. To Laurie. They've got to move it quickly and they've got to score. Trawley. High. The centre of the ground, but too much height. McKenna. Possession could be the name of the game for the Eagles now. Main Waring. Quite happy to send them deep into attack. Sumich. At the back again. Kitchke. Sweeps the wide hand pass. Less than a minute. Malaxos to half forward. Ugle at the back. Ugle still going. Still going. Gives it to Langdon. This could shut the gate. Shut the gate. It's all over. 3 goals to Carl Langdon. And this has been an extraordinary comeback and an extraordinary test of character for the Eagles.
Set up by a fine mark by Guy McKenna. One-touch football. Good disposal of Main Waring, who set that up again. And Ugle working overtime, giving Langdon the opportunity.
Carl Langdon off the ground after a very hard knock in the 3rd term. Back, putting his stamp on this game. It's all over for the Saints. One wonders if it's all over for their season. Devonport surrounded. There'll be a ball up. There's time for a little more in this next piece of action. The Saints led by 44 points at quarter time, 28 at half, and 19 at 3/4 time. Doyle's in front, knocked away by Brennan. Harvey, who's tried hard, taking a lot of hard knocks tonight. Winmar, there's the siren. And that tells the story. The Eagles are greeted with a standing ovation. They've come from the depths. 16-12 to 14-6. The crowd, well, people don't know their footy too well if they want to boo the umpires as they're coming off the ground. Now that is wasted effort. They should be standing to a man and clapping these Eagles if they're Eagles supporters. And a token of respect too for the St Kilda Saints who came to play tonight. They had some players out, some star players out. My word, they tried so hard, but the Eagles have prevailed.
What an effort to turn a 44-point deficit at quarter time into an 18-point victory. A memorable 8-goal blast in the final quarter. So the Eagles continue to greedily eye the double chance, and naturally they are elated. What a turnaround. Begovic did well, they all did well. And now the crowd rises to cheer them off.
Heady stuff, isn't it?
It certainly is. And while the Eagles can rejoice, spare a thought for the Saints. Played superb football in the first quarter, then it became a struggle, and a struggle that eventually the home side won. The final scoreline here at the Wacker: the Eagles 16-12, 108, St Kilda 14-6, 90 in a memorable game. Victory to the home side, 16-12, 108, St Kilda 14-6, 90, and now they're ready to dissect this game, because what an extraordinary performance it was, gentlemen.
Where do you start? I suppose in the first quarter with those 5 goals to Devonport, setting it up, Ross, and then ironically the man who started on him came back to be the hero at the other end of the ground as far as the Eagles were concerned.
It does happen quite often, Dennis, too, where players have a burst of a quarter like that, a purple patch as such, and they are quieting down quite considerably. At 5 goals, you would have expected him to kick another 3 or 4 at least, but the opportunities perhaps not quite there, but they did bottle up that midfield player, St Kilda, which overran them in the first quarter and and a half. And that man, as he finished off with 4 goals in the last quarter, finished with 6 for the game. It's a fantastic effort, really, and a sign of maturity. The player, I think, who dominated the game, without doubt, Stuart Lowe. His statistics would be close to something like 20-odd kicks and 16 or so marks, which from full forward comes centre-half forward.
Yep.
Under these conditions for a big fellow, good effort.
Outstanding, yes. And I suppose when we try and measure that maturity as far as the Eagles are concerned tonight, full credit to Michael Malthouse, because I doubt at any other time in the history of this Eagles team they could have done what they've done tonight. I mean, they stood them up a start of, 44 points at quarter time. Everything was going wrong, and yet they applied themselves. We said at half-time they had to do it in stages. They did that. They got back into the game. And so often when you've made that run, you lose the game.
Yes, you run out of steam, and when you consider that St Kilda only kicked 3 goals from half-time to the Eagles' 10, indicative of how perhaps St Kilda ran out of not only opportunities, but they just perhaps weren't quite as willing, even though in that last 10 minutes they really gave it their best shot. But
that was a marvellous goal, that one too. Miles working the ball out of the pocket, then Ugle deciding to play on. Obviously has a keen sense of humour, and eventually got the goal.
And Carl Langdon, who did cop a bit of a bashing, came back well.
So what do they tell us? St Kilda, more of the ball. That surprises me.
Well, I think that shows there's far more effect then, Dennis, perhaps with the Eagles using the ball, particularly in that second half, a little more effectively. Tackles St Kilda, I think, at half-time was something like 19-9. So the Eagles picked up their rating there. Fairly even in the hit-outs, which Kitski, Lowe sharing that role, Irving doing most of it with Jackson late for the Eagles.
Not often you see that, though. Down the right-hand column, there's St Kilda winning in just about everything, with the exception of the hit-outs, and losing the game by 18 points. So we have seen a remarkable game on many fronts tonight.
Well, let's have a look at the final quarter stats only and see what story that tells us.
Yes, well, the Eagles moved the ball around far more effectively, and their marks show there they were far more confident with their kicking and their disposal, but fairly even other than that.
Yes, it was a tremendous last quarter and a great game, but victory to the Eagles. We'll take a break. Michael Malthouse, we have learned, has lost his voice. Not surprising, but I'm happy to say that Neil Poe is down in the winners' rooms, and he's got Carl Langdon with him. Neil?
Thanks, Sandy. Well, Carl, congratulations. I guess first quarter notwithstanding, one of the best Eagles wins?
Definitely our best win. I mean, the best win I've been involved with. I mean, it was great character to come from 8 goals or 9 goals behind, I think we were. And it's just a credit to the guys. I don't think we ever gave in at any stage, and we pushed up, and it just shows you what, dedication, I suppose, and hard work and manning up can do.
Well, when the Saints kicked the first goal in the second quarter, I think you were 50 points down. How do you get yourself back up from that point?
Well, I think we've just got to work man on man. I think we had one player to beat, and it was just knuckling down to a task. And I suppose we just had to work harder and hopefully get a bit of luck our way. And I think we worked our way back into it, and we never gave in, and we came out on top.
Now, what about this so-called home ground advantage at the Wacker? I mean, would there have been much tonight in the mud?
Well, I don't think so. I think those Victorians back over there can start just having a look at themselves. I mean, we showed today that we can play in the wet. They can't win over here. They reckon we can't win over here, but they can't win over here either. So they've got to start looking at themselves before they can start, knocking us out of the road.
Well, a lot of commentators have been labelling the Eagles soft. Genuine finals contenders after tonight?
Well, I think if we play like that, I think any side's a genuine finals contender. I mean, that was a grand final for us, and it puts us, I think, a game clear now. And next week against Footscray, we'll be knuckling down to that task. And if we win that one, then we'll be well on our way to playing in the finals.
Okay, mate, just finally, your own game was a good one. Very courageous to come back. Tell us about the schnoz.
Well, just hit ahead, I think, or something going through a pack, but it'll be right next week.
Okay, Carl, thanks, mate. Congratulations.
Thanks, no worries.
Carl Langdon. And gentlemen, let's have a look at some of the individual performers.
Thought he played very well tonight. Chris Mainwaring, 19-7, started the game very busily. And bear in mind those 10-2 till half-time came when things were really going sour as far as the West Coast Eagles were concerned.
And Stuart Lowe, we spoke about him before, 23 kicks and 17 marks is just fantastic effort, plus 4 goals.
David Hart, till half-time also busy, and he went back onto Devonport in the first term, so obviously wasn't seeing a lot of the ball there. His job was to stop Devonport, who kicked 5 goals. So David Hart did well tonight.
He picked up Bowie as well. Nathan Burke, look at that first quarter. worked very hard, copped a couple of heavy knocks, another one in the last quarter, but to finish up with 29 touches.
I saw him last week, actually, Ross. He's playing as well now as he has during his career.
Well, he runs well and runs to the right positions.
Chris Lewis, busy again tonight. Big third term when things started to turn in this match. 9 possessions there, and Lewis a good performer.
And Frank Coughlin, not quite as effective, works very hard as he always does, but still 20 touches, not quite as effective as Steve Malax is perhaps the better of that contest.
Time now to check the CU.
Another